All right, y'all, let's go live. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nah, I know we live. I know we already live. Just messing. Okay, what was that about? Oh, so look, this is the topic. As y'all can see, we're gonna do ways to learn Hebrew, and these are some ways I learned it. So, all right, let me get some stuff. I got some books, and I'm gonna show you some websites. We're gonna get all of it. I've tried to do this several times in the past. It didn't work out. I never could do a professional video, but maybe one day I'll do a professional video and shorten it up and put it out there. But for now, I'm just gonna do live, get it out there. A question was asked, how do you learn Hebrew? And I liked it, but I didn't reply because I wanted to do a video on it. So here we go. I'm just gonna start answering questions in my lives or however and just get it out the way. I got so many questions unanswered. So here we go. So one of the first ways, wait a minute. I don't know what microphone is picking me up. My computer microphone or my camera? Let me find out which one, because it does matter. I know y'all can hear me either way, but one of them is better than the other. And I want to get y'all the best one. It's probably going to give me, okay, it's giving me the good, okay, it's giving me the good mic, but it's giving me the bad camera. That's what it was doing. It was giving me the bad camera, the good mic. That's cool. Okay. It don't really matter if y'all see me. Well, never mind. Yeah, dude. All right. Because I got stuff to show you. So anyway, one of the first ways I started learning to learn Hebrew was, let me just give you my little path on this anyway. So early on in 2015, I started reading and studying and taking the Bible serious. And not long after, within the first couple of months, this dude hit me with this question. Because I was reading from the book of Enoch, book 1. And in the book, it talked about the angels having sex with women. And it cross-referenced Genesis 6, 1 through 4. I could put it up on the screen too, but matter of fact, yeah, I'm pulling it up on the screen so you see the Hebrew with it, because this is what he hit me with after we talked about this for a while. I believe that the angels had sex with women and had the offspring that were like half angel, half human, and that's how they became the Nephilim, the giants, and all of this. And he was like, nah. He took the other side, which the sons of God. Let me get pulled up. The sons of God represent the righteous people, and that was the side that he took. He was like, oh, okay. And then so after all this debate, after all this talk, he said, well, what does it say in Hebrew? I'm just starting to learn seriously about the Bible and stuff. I don't know any other languages that good, and definitely not Hebrew. This was like a foreign thing to me. This was alien to me. Strange. This was strange. That's a synonym of alien. That's what I mean. This was strange to me. I don't even know if at that time I knew what Hebrew looked like, honestly. This was in 2015. This what he hit me with. And so he sent me a link where I believe he sent me a link where you can click on it, and it had the Hebrew, the English. It was a transliteration. It was an interlinear style of Genesis 6, 1 through 4. And when I looked at the main verse, Genesis 6, 2, I'm gonna get it pulled up too. I'm gonna show you something similar, God willing. Just give me a moment. Share everything. Share the entire screen. I like just sharing everything. So what I see, y'all see. And I don't know if I should use logos. By the way, I haven't really said what this is that I'm using. This is logos. I'm in Genesis. How? That's what's up. All right, let's go. Genesis 6 in the building. So this is the NRSV version, but I'm going to try to add the Hebrew behind it on the screen so you can see kind of what I saw that day. And if this isn't a good enough example, if I feel necessary to go get the actual site that I was on that day, I'll try to track that down. But I think this will be good enough. So let's see what I can do. Okay. So now we got the Hebrew with it. And let's get to the part. So the main verse is verse 2 and verse 4. So he said, what does the Hebrew say for Genesis 6, 2, and 4? Or basically for the context of the main part where I thought and believed the sons of God in this context was angels and not men, not humans like us, right? So let's read it. Genesis 6, 1 through 4, it says, when people begin, let me click on it so I can scroll down. When people begin, I hope these words are big enough for y'all. Y'all let me know. It says, when people began to multiply on the face of the ground and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that they were fair. And here's one of the main parts right here. And they took wives for themselves of all that they chose. Now, when I saw this in Hebrew, this was my first time, I believe, looking at Hebrew, and I didn't know. Like I didn't know how to read it. I couldn't read it. The only way I could read it was from the website I was on at the time. It showed the transliteration in English on how you say it. Because without it, I had no clue on how to say it. It was like, what does it say? I was like, I don't know. I can't read it other than what they say. So I just had to read what they say. And for the phrase, where are the sons of God? Right here. For the phrase, the sons of God, it said on that website, Bene Ha Elohim, from what I remember. And so I just said that because that's what it said. It said. Other than that, I could not read it. And from this topic about the sons of God having sex with the daughters of humans, this was my beginning of getting started to learn Hebrew because I was very ignorant. I never even seen Hebrew before. So I'm just giving you my history on it, and I'm gonna take you to the, and we're gonna get all the ways and not everything that helped me learn Hebrew. In here, we're gonna get books, websites, everything. You don't have to spend any money, but we're gonna show you how I learned. So after this conversation with this guy, which he was a Christian, and I used to go to this Christian church with him. He was the one that helped me get baptized too. But I had started learning Hebrew on my own. And the way I started was because I didn't have a job, so it wasn't like I had a lot of money. So I had to use free things. So this is free, by the way. If you want to download this, the Logos Bible software that I'm using is free. It's certain things in the Logos Bible software that you can buy, though, like books and other things. But the app itself is free. But I'm gonna go to another website, and this is one of the main web. Facebook, YouTube. We'll take that one. We'll take this one. Where I'm going? Where I'm going? It's a lot of them, but I'm gonna go to Bible Blue Letter. There we go. Blue Letter. Blue Letter. I actually got a Blue Letter over here, but they do a real good job. God willing, one day I should donate to them because they kept their website free. They never charge, and I've always used the app. Blue Letter has done a good job. So you can come to the Blue Letter Bible. Now they'll let you read from many translations and things like that for free. Everything's free. You don't got to pay for anything. They just ask if you would donate, but I never have. God willing, I will one day because they've done a great job for free, as far as keeping this free and stuff like this costs. This does cost. Somebody's got to pay for it. So, however they have done it, that's a good thing. God has blessed them. But anyways, so you can come to this website or any other website that you like. I prefer this one over a lot, but I have used a lot. But my consistent is this one. I'm consistent with this one. So you can come to the search bar, and let's just go back to Genesis 6:4. We'll just go to Genesis. I'm gonna make the words bigger because they're not big enough. Hold on. 1, 2. I think this is good. That should be good. That should be good. Let me get this out the way down here. You see everything I see. So it says, right? Okay. Get out of the way. So it says, we really just need verse 2 and verse 4 because sons of God occur in these two verses, the phrase. So it don't matter which one we use, we just need to get one. So what we can do is we can go about this two different ways. We can hit tools, or we could hit, I don't see Strong's, probably because I made everything so big. It used to be a way where you can check the Strong's box, but I don't see it. So maybe they updated it. I'm not sure. But either way, I'm going to get what we need. So you click Tools on desktop view, by the way. If you're on a phone, it's the mobile apps, to me, it's not as good as the desktop view. So I always go to desktop view. I recommend it for anybody on a phone or a tablet because it's going to automatically take you to the mobile view. Even the mobile app is not as good as the desktop view, so I don't even use it. But anyway, here we go. So they give you the interlinear, and you can see the Hebrew. Now, if you can't read it, you can't read it. But here's the main part that we was going over was, I'm gonna say it a little different than the modern Hebrew. The modern Hebrew is B'nai Ha Elohim, and that's fine. But according to the Lashawan Kadesh, which is the all A and I sound Hebrew language, a lot of people don't know the name of it, but that's what it's called. And they claim it's ancient Hebrew, but they can't verify it. So, but if you want to say it in that pronunciation, it would be Bane. I'm not gonna say the A at the end because they like to keep the A at the end of every letter. But you can cut that off. Bane Ha Alahayim, or you can pronounce it a little bit different, but basically it sounds almost the same. And this is sons of God. So, or it could be translated the sons of God. And that's the main part. Now, how do I learn how to pronounce it? How do I learn the sounds? How do I learn all of that? Well, we're going to get to it. So I had started with things like this for free using the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance inside of websites and apps that were free at the time because I didn't have a job. So I had to do what was, I guess, convenient for me that I could do with what I had. And then it was a preacher Keith. He from the same church I used to go to. He had an extra string. I think he brought two of them one day. I don't know if I told him I needed one or I was trying to learn Hebrew. I can't remember. But he had two of them. He brought two and asked me which one do you want. And I'm thinking, how much? How much would you sell it to me for? He was like, it's free. Oh, okay. Well, I'll take the smaller one then. It's in my other room, but that way that was my first Strong's Exhaustive Concordance that I got. And I still got it to this day. It's kind of old and beat up, but that helped me too. It's almost like this. Of course, the computer has it got a little bit more benefits to it than the book, but you can still learn Hebrew. And I've used that a lot. I've used that to translate things from Hebrew to English, or I've translated scriptures using that to help me find out what words mean. Now, I also recommend other dictionaries too as you get deeper into it. But just to give you an example, if you get deep into it, you're going to need other Hebrew English dictionaries. This is the new Bantam Megiddo Hebrew and English Dictionary. I think it has Oh, it has over 46,000 definitions or about that number in it. And as you get deeper, you're going to need some other dictionaries because the Strong's doesn't have all the words in its dictionary. So you're going to be if you get to that point, you're going to be translating some stuff and you're going to be like, wait a minute, I don't see this word in the Strong's. Or it's not going to be as easy to find in the Strong's. So having other dictionaries is going to help. This is just one as an example. Now, what I also did, I'm going to leave that website right there. No, I don't want to bother that. The ultimate, it'll find it anyway. So what I also did was type in Hebrew alphabet chart. And this was one of the first things that I did as well to help me learn how to pronounce all of these sounds for the Hebrew alphabet because I didn't know how. So I would go and look at the images. Remember, I didn't have a job, so I couldn't buy these things like that. So I had to get the free stuff, right? So I pretty much went through. I know y'all can't see it as good because some of these things are small, but you can click on the images and make them bigger. So I would pretty much go through and find the best of the best or the greatest. I'll use that word. I'll go through a lot of these. I'll just click on some. And I will go through a lot of these Hebrew alphabet charts. And this was one of the ones I used. I remember as an example. So what I would do when can I make it bigger? As an example, ended up going to another one after that. So as an example, when I started learning it, I would take a sheet of paper out and I would write down, maybe one day I should do like a live practice session with y'all on how to learn and how to start. But I'm just going to tell you what I did. I would write down on a sheet of paper. Move over the camera. There we go. A little bit back, a little bit back. I would write down on a sheet of paper. I would call it practice and learning Hebrew or whatever you find the need to call it. And then I would write down 1 through 22 because that's how many Hebrew letters it is mainly. And then I'll write down like names of each Hebrew word. And then you can write the names. And then I'll write, sometimes I would do the picture definition and the meaning and then the sound. But mainly I shorten it up to just the names and the sound. And then once I started learning those well, then I started focusing on the picture and the meaning more. But I just focused on those two at first because those are the easiest to learn, in my opinion, unless you want to learn another, different way than I learned. You can learn the meanings and then learn the names and sounds or whatever, however you want to do it. But this is how I did it. So as an example, I would write down now in different Hebrew alphabet charts, you're going to have different names for the names and sounds for the Hebrew letters because they're different Hebrew languages. They're basically, this is what it comes down to. A lot of people don't talk about this or know this, but there's different Hebrew languages and people have made claims. Some people made claims on what ancient Hebrew is. And I'll give you an example. If I find one that claims to be ancient Hebrew, I guarantee you a lot of y'all have seen it before. I have not found one yet, but I'll definitely find one. I might even find my chart somewhere here. My chart was kind of popular at one point. Oh, I think my chart pops up when you type in ancient Hebrew alphabet chart. Well, it'll pop up a lot faster. So I used to use um I used to use that one too. That one just looks real good. Is that my chart? Hold on, is that mine? Nah, that ain't mine. Mine has a whole lot on it. Okay, some of these look real close to my chart. That's why I had to look in close on it. Oh, there go my chart. Okay. I don't know if this is linked to my web. Nah, it's not. Is it on Amazon? Oh, okay. Yeah, that is my website. I was like, I see Amazon. What? Maybe that's an advertisement. We'll just go to my website too. I thought about going here anyway, but these are the Hebrew charts that I made. I don't promote them anymore, but like this is the so-called ancient Hebrew right here. You will see these sounds, and these are the names also for the Lashawan Kadesh Hebrew. Like Ah is Ah. Like they don't call the first letter in Hebrew Aleph. They just call it Ah. Like they didn't give it a name. Or that is the name. Like, but it's all A and I sounds. And these are the sounds that a lot of y'all are used to in the Hebrew community. But they can't verify that this is ancient Hebrew, and this is the reason I stopped teaching it, because they themselves created it. They don't even know if David spoke this language. They even admitted it. But a lot of people don't find that information. Anyway, so we got the ancient Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew. The sounds don't change with this Hebrew language. The characters of the Hebrew alphabet change. You can even use the modern Hebrew and still have the same Hebrew sounds as that Hebrew language. It doesn't matter with that language. But the good news is this is easier to learn. But the problem is a lot of people don't speak it. So if you actually go to Jerusalem or somewhere over there, you're going to, it'll kind of sound alike. It'll kind of sound similar to the Hebrew language over there, but not exactly. And they won't know exactly what you're talking about all the time. So it's kind of beneficial, but it's kind of not to learn. But I learned both. I learned more of this one, and then I started learning the modern Hebrew more because that one seems better to me. But I still use these sound systems a lot more than the modern Hebrew. But anyway, let's finish off what I was saying. So I would write down kind of like how I did it on this chart. I'll write down 1 through 22, and I'll actually try my best at the time to write the Hebrew letters as best as I could at the time, because when I first started out, I could not write these letters that well, not all of them, and I still don't write it as good as it looks on the internet, but I try to do what I do. So just do the best you can, and then write down the sounds depending on what chart you're using, whether it's modern Hebrew or the Lashawan Kadesh. Just pick one and just start learning it. If you prefer the Lashawan Kadesh, the ancient Hebrew so-called, so they claim, you can learn that. Like I did that too, but just start. And then later on, if you want to learn the modern Hebrew, then learn that too, or vice versa. But either way, it's beneficial to know. But once you got the sound system, it's pretty much like English. You're going to always have it. It's like when we learned the ABCs, we pretty much always got it. And then you practice it. So after you write all the letters to the best of your ability, write all the sounds, and you practice it. And what I used to do, I used to say it 7 times each. I would say the names 7 times each. Aleph, Bet, even though the names aren't on these charts, they are on some other charts. And after you say the names 7 times each, then you say the sounds 7 times each. And then once you do that, then you put everything away. Don't cheat. Just use whatever you can remember from the best of your ability. And then you play a memory game, whether it's just you or whether you got somebody to do it with in person or on the phone or however you can do it. But just do it. And what I would do if I was by myself, I would just use a sheet of paper and I would just take a fresh new sheet of paper out. Maybe we should play this game one day and just do it all together live one day. If you would like to, let me know. But that way, if you're by yourself, we can all do it together. Um, and I would try to remember all the names. They don't have to be in order. Just try to write down as many of the names that you can remember. And once you do that, do the same for the sounds. From your memory, just write down all the sounds you can remember. And you might get 13 out of 22. You might get 10 out of 22, 15, 17, 8, whatever the number is. Just note it. And when you can't think of anymore, just get the chart back out that you was looking at and compare it to see how you did, whether you got it right, how many you got right versus how many you didn't remember, and just keep doing this uh, here and there, here and there. And sometimes when I was with other people, which I was with other people a lot, not in person, but I would go. Let's say we're on the phone, kind of like how it's similar to how we kind of talking right now, but you can't communicate verbally back, right? So let's just say um, we was going to do it together. So we would do the same thing. Take a sheet of paper out, write down 1 through 22, write down all the names, we'll try to write the characters as best we can for each letter, and then write down the sounds. That's it. That's the main two for now. We'll worry about the meanings and the picture meanings and all that later. So once we do that, then we write, and we can use the same Hebrew alphabet charts to make it easier too. But then we would say it. Let's say we were going to do it together. I would say one of us will start first. I will start saying the names, or we can do the sounds first. It doesn't matter. Let's just say we start with the names. I would say all the names from 1 through 22 to the best of my ability. Don't got to be perfect, but because you're learning. And then whoever's going to do it with you, they say it after you. And then we do it 7 times. I say it 7 times, but we go back and forth. And then once we both say it 7 times each, then we say the sounds 7 times each, which is real easy. Excuse me. With the Lashawan Kadesh sounds, because it's just all A and I sounds. The hardest sound is number 18, Taza, which is the hardest thing to pronounce. Which I don't even know. I don't even know why they even spelt it like that. I would. I'm just telling you, when you try to say Isaac's name in Hebrew with this sound system, oh my goodness, it's hard. And Obadiah, when you try to say Obadiah in this sound system, so it was so hard in the beginning. I was like, nah, I can't. I had to tweak some things a little bit. But anyway, so that's how you do it. And I'll just give you an example of me going over it with you. I haven't done this in years, in a long time. So I'm going to give you an example and keep going. So here we go. So I'm going to say the names according to this Hebrew alphabet chart and the sounds. I'm not going to say it 7 times each, though. I'm just say it 1 time each. So I will start with the names. I would say owl, bat, gam, doll, hay, wall, Zan, chat, tat, yad, cap, lamb, ma'am, excuse me, nan, sam, ayin, pay, taz, qua, rash, shan, tau. I'm laughing at one of these letters, and I customize the names according to the sounds to make it easier to remember the sound by the name. Like if you look at other Hebrew alphabet charts, the names are going to be a little bit different. All of them kind of different, depending on the Hebrew language, the sound systems, and everything. You get used to this the more you learn languages. especially the Hebrew language. But you'll notice that. Like my chart is different than other people's. Other people's chart is different than my chart. But the point is learning. Can we learn from the chart? You know what I mean? So that's the point. And my chart isn't perfect. You can just look at it. You can just see it. But I tried to do what nobody else did. I tried to put the most information in a chart that I could. And this is what it came out to be. And I tried to make it ink friendly for people because the first chart I did was in all black. And that was taking up a lot of people's ink, so this was ink friendly. Don't take up a lot of ink when you print it out, because eventually I did print this out because I wanted to have it and study it without being on the computer. And I would, maybe I can find my printouts and show you in a minute. I printed out all the greatest Hebrew alphabet charts, not just mine, because before I had mine, I had to use theirs. So let's see if I can find a few. I got all my Hebrew stuff out just in case. I don't even think it's in one of these. My Chromebook over there? I don't even know why. Okay. Let's see if I can find one for you real quick. I don't know if it's in the stack of papers or is it in my folder? I got folders, I got papers out. It's probably in the folder. I'll look for it as we just read or whatever. But just know at some point in time, I did go and print these out. Whether I went to a library to do it, a church to do it, I was about that. So you can do it for free at a library. And if you, at least the rules here in my state and city, you got to go, you can only get 5 pages for free. And then if you go over that, I think it's like 10 cents per paper. But I rarely went over 5, 5 per day for free. I don't really think I really spent that much money. I definitely didn't spend over $1 doing that. So just get what you can get, however you get it. Some of y'all got your own printer, so you don't even need to do it. But I didn't have mine at the time, or it wasn't working. Don't remember. But I got it. And then I would just use these charts, and I would just practice the Hebrew game. And we would play the memory game too, by the way. So let's say you were with somebody else. The memory game would kind of be the same, but a little bit different. So this is how the memory game would go. Once you write down the names and the sounds, if you got other people with you, this is how it would go. So all y'all will put all y'all stuff away. Don't cheat. Don't, and that's how the memory game would go. So we would take turns. If it's 2 people, you have to set it up according to the number of the alphabet. So if it's 2 people playing the game, it's 22 Hebrew letters. So we would take turns. Let's say you would go first and then I would go second, or vice versa. We would do 4 names. Let's say we start with the names. I would try to name 4 Hebrew names, and it can be in any order, whatever you remember, because it's based on your memory, right? So I would name 4, and then whatever 4 I name, you can't name those because they already been named. We're just naming them until they all checked off the list. So we would go 4 for me, 4 for you, 4 for me. We'll go back and forth. 4 for you, that's 16 letters. And then 4 for me, that's 20. Now we got 2 more. And then it's going to be your turn. And then we'll do 1. You got to remember 1 of them. And then that'll be 1. That'll be 21 letters. And then for me, I got to try to remember that last letter out of all the letters we just said. And then that'll be 22. That's how it'd be if it was just 2 people. But if it's 3 people, you got to divide the numbers up according to the Hebrew letters. You got to be creative. But most of the time, it was just 2 people. So we'll figure all that out. You'll figure all that out along the way. But like the memory game was very, very helpful. And we do the same for the sounds, the same way. If it's 2 people, 4 for you, 4 for me, until we get to 20, and then 1 for each. The last 2 letters. Memory game was very, very successful, and you'd be surprised how much you remember. So that's one way I started, and I would still recommend doing that. It's very, very helpful. Now somewhere along the way, you can try to get Hebrew flashcards, and they do, I think, have a free PDF Hebrew flashcards that you can print out and cut out and use. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they still do. Let me see if I have anything on here. I don't know. I might have put it on here. I don't know. Let me scroll to the Ancient Hebrew Lexicon. No, that's I got most of these are books. Okay, demonology. It might not be on here. But if it's not, maybe I'll try to download it if it's still available and then put it on my website. But you can just look for it or look for any Hebrew alphabet flashcards that they'll let you download as a PDF if you want to do this. And then if they do, because I think I remember one doing that, you can print it out if you want and then cut out the Hebrew letters and use them as flashcards, or you just buy them. I didn't always have a job, so a lot of this stuff I had to do for free. So, but eventually I did get biblical Hebrew vocabulary cards at this local used bookstore, but I rarely ever used them because I don't really like them. And they're a little bit advanced. Like that's one of the issues too. They're not. I didn't know that they would be like this, but they're a little bit advanced. But you can still use that. So I'm just saying they do have stuff out there, but that's a little advanced right there. It's different than Hebrew flashcards because that's like beginner stage. You just trying to learn. This is a little bit beyond that. Wouldn't recommend that for beginners, but just let you know, they do got that stuff out there. And they even got Hebrew flat. They got. I think they got Hebrew flashcard apps. Yeah, they do. They got Hebrew flashcard apps. I used to use them a little bit. They even got like I think Paleo Hebrew flashcard apps, or stuff like that you can use. And they even have like little games on these apps that I used to play, like memory games, which were kind of cool. But at that time, when I was using it, what's my website? Like I'm just now seeing this, man. I'm sorry. I'm like almost 20 minutes late. Killer. I see all y'all messages now. I was on another string, so just keep in mind that what I see, y'all see. So I did not know anybody was talking to me, so I apologize for my late responses. But I do see it all now. I'll just read it and catch up real quick. Ming says that happened to me on my mobile. And then Ming says, what's your website? My website is called ultimatescriptures.weebly.com. I'll just put it in the chat. And Killer says, thanks for the teaching you up. Now, back to the Hebrew apps though. Like they did have what they do. I don't even know what all they got now. But this was years ago when I used it. They got these apps. I could probably just look for one on my tablet and show you, but I used to play memory games on there, and they used to be helpful, but my condition at the time was too severe for me to be using it a lot, so I had to delete it. I had to uninstall it and stop using it because my condition. I used to have a lot of head pain and headaches, so much. My condition was too severe to look inside of a screen, and it could have been because the screen was so small. I was on my phone, not a tablet or anything bigger. It could have been because I was straining my eyes, but I had to stop using it. That was due to my condition. But if you can and would like to, those are free. It didn't cost anything. I don't know about for iPhones because I ain't have one, but for Android, I know it was free. Hopefully it's free on the iPhone, but I don't know. But I never had to pay for that. Now, book form though, there is books that you can buy to learn Hebrew, but some are a little advanced, but hopefully you find, I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't recommend a book to learn Hebrew because not a lot of them are like, they're just a little advanced. I put it that way. I don't know. I just hope if you get one, it does a good job at guiding you if you're a very, very new beginner. Because I'll be honest with you, some of these books that I got to learn Hebrew, nah, I wouldn't recommend a lot to you, if any, because that claim that they will teach you Hebrew, the ones I got are advanced. Like they're a little bit advanced. And I don't know how well I would have did if I started with those. So I wouldn't recommend like that. But hopefully if you do go that way, you find a real good one. So I would say that's one way you can look up Hebrew alphabet charts. You can print them out, download them for free. I used them on my computer a lot, and then I downloaded them. I still have some in one of these Hebrew folders. I don't know. I got so much Hebrew stuff. I don't know which folder it's in, but let's see if I can find it. That's bank info. Okay, that ain't this one. I think it's my gray one. Yeah, I got 3 of these. It's the red one. It's not this one. And I don't go through these. Okay, I don't think it's in this. Let me get the gray. Yeah, it's got to be this one. Let's see what we got. This is one of my biggest studies, Hebrew. Is that Greek? That's Greek. Okay. Wait, what else in there? That should be all Greek. Yeah, okay. I learned some Greek too, but not as much as Hebrew. Okay, so it's not in here. Where they at? Is it in the red? Can't be in this black. Can it be in this black? I'm gonna try to find at least one. Nah, ain't nothing in black. Where they at? It must be in this stack. It's just buried in here, I guess. It's somewhere in there. Oh man, it's complicated to find. I didn't know it was gonna be this difficult. Well, you know what? I think I remember where they was, but I don't know. But I got a lot of stuff that I printed out. Maybe I'll find some charts, and maybe I won't. But I'll just show you some stuff that I used to print out, since I don't have the charts right now. Maybe you can see this kind of good. This is from Isaiah 38:14, and this one might have the paleo with it. It's not the best camera shot, but this was for a particular study that I was doing about the Lord names, because in some, this is deep. This is a deep study, but I would do stuff like this and compare, because sometimes in different Masoretic texts, which some of y'all probably not even familiar with, because at first I thought the Masoretic text was just one thing, but it's not. It's about 8 different manuscripts or codexes of the of the Masoretic text. Like I thought it was just one. Nah, it's like 8. But the most complete, well, one of the main ones they use is the Leningrad Codex. That's the complete one. But there are 7 other ones. And excuse me, some of these other Masoretic texts don't say the same thing. They vary. And for this particular study I was doing, certain verses would say Lord in all caps in English and capital LORD in English. But in Hebrew, it would be two different words. In Hebrew, one of them would say Adonai, and sometimes in the other codex or manuscript, it will say Yahweh. And I was like, well, why? Why does this one say this and this one say that? Like, why don't they say the same thing? And I started learning and finding out, okay, some manuscripts say this and some say that. And it was a certain amount of verses that did this, and I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, so I started comparing many different translations and versions and books I had just to see what it said for these certain verses. And some will say Adonai, some will say Yahweh, and I'm like, I tried to look at what that was. I don't know what it was, but I wonder if I got an example on here. I don't think so. But yeah, that was just a little study I did though. So let me see some other ways to learn Hebrew though. I ended up finding out more about it and getting some of those manuscripts, but yeah, that's just something that a lot of people just probably would never know because they don't look into the Hebrew. Now they're in book form. Let's get the book form, right? So it's a lot of books you can get. I already showed a Hebrew English dictionary, and this just to show it again. This little guy right here, the new Bantam Megiddo Hebrew English dictionary, real small, lightweight. They have different versions of it. They might even have a newer one now. I don't know, but you can get that. I recommend 3, at least 2, but definitely 3 as you get advanced in Hebrew. Because if you get like me, you're gonna want 2 or 3 witnesses because a lot of the Hebrew stuff, I'll just look for some stuff on here. Hebrew English lexicon, not PDF. They do have some. When you look up the Hebrew English lexicon, a lot of the stuff is by the same person. Like the Brown Driver Briggs is popular, but the source is G.C. Nias. G.C. Nias put together a Hebrew German lexicon, and they went and got somebody, well, different people went and translated German into English, and then they authorized and edited his work and made a Hebrew English lexicon. And that's what you see there from Brown Driver Briggs. It's not mainly their work. They're using G.C. Nias' work mainly. And then they just edited it and, adding stuff to it. But that's one of them. And they also added strong numbers, which makes it easier for us. But I don't like theirs to use mostly. But that is one that you can use. That's an option. But remember, the source is G.C. Nias. Remember that. And they also have, I don't know the source of this one. This is the one that I showed them, but it could be a older version or the same version or a newer one. I don't know. Where's the? I'm typing in GC. GC Nice. You know what I want. You know what I want, boy. You know what I want. Triggerlees. How do you spell his name? Find it. Every now and then I find one by Triggerlees, but that's the author I prefer. Triggerlees. I like his editing and all that. But you do get a lot of different authors and editors. So I've had a lot of these Hebrew English lexicons. I've had this one, this black with blue by Hendrickson. I probably had this one too. 239. Who go? Man, look. Nobody from the buy it. I ain't gonna say that because somebody might buy it, but why? Man, anyway, I've had a few of them. I didn't like any better than GC Nias Hebrew English Lexicon without strong numbers by Trigules. That was the editor and the editor of that one. I might have spelled his name wrong, but you can just look through, find what you like. If you find it better for you to get the one with strong numbers, then the one I'm telling you I prefer isn't for you because it don't have strong numbers. But BDB, Brown Java Briggs, that one will be for you because I think they're the only ones that did it with strong numbers. So in book form, these are a few Hebrew English dictionaries you can get. I haven't tried all of them, but those are some that I've tried. And you can experiment. Nothing wrong with that. And there's my review. Goodness. Oh goodness, there's another one. They're all me. Okay, well, there's the evidence that at one point I did have the blue and black one that I said, and this other one. So if you would like to see what they look like on the inside before you buy it, you can look at my reviews of it. I gave you the best I could do for the time for what I knew at the time about these books. So if you see a review and I say something that's incorrect or that I didn't know that now I know, then hey, but I did the best for what I can do from what I knew at the time. So those are some. Now I would recommend these three books as main startups. What you can't afford, you can't afford. But if you can get a Strong's exhaustive concordance, make sure it says Strong's because they do have some other books out there that can mislead you. I remember it was this book. It was a short little paperback, and it I think it said exhaustive concordance of the Bible, but it didn't say Strong's exhaustive concordance of the Bible, and it is a difference. So make sure when you searching for it, or when you're in the bookstore, wherever you at, Strong's exhaustive concordance. Make sure you see Strong's exhaustive concordance. Make sure you see all that in the title. If you don't see it, don't buy it because it's some of them that could say exhaustive concordance of the Bible without the Strong's, and it's not going to be exactly what you want. Because I remember I bought one like that one time, and it wasn't the real deal. It wasn't what I was looking for. So I overall, like, gave it away or threw it away. I don't know if I still got it, but I never really used it because it's not what I really wanted. It don't have the Hebrew and Greek and Aramaic dictionaries in the back and all that other information that you would like. So make sure you put Strong's and get the right thing. Now, another reason why I suggest getting 2 or 3 sources because not only the scripture that says 2 or 3 witnesses, but going by one source is not good. Because, example, I'm gonna go and show you. So these are the Strong's exhaustive concordances of the Bible. They have a lot of different ones, but the source is the same. No matter the publisher, you got Nelson and all these other publishers, but no matter the publisher and the editors, Strong's is by the same person, James Strong. They're just using his work, and it's just another editor and publisher publishing it. It's the same source, though. Just like a lot of the Hebrew English lexicons are based on the same source, GC Nice. But they're 2 different sources. I'll recommend a third. That's why I recommend like the new Bantam Megiddo Hebrew and English Dictionary to give you a third. But I'm gonna show you why I say 2 or 3 is good. Now let's go check this out. So we into Blue Letter Bible. And let's go to Lord. Check this out. I'm gonna go check out some of y'all comments too. So let's say you go to the word Lord and you want to, or you, in your book, let's say you got a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible. You can actually go do this right now if you want. If you go to the word H3068 and watch this, depending on what Strong's you got, New Strong, Strongest Strongs, it might say a little bit more, a little bit less, or about the same, but it's gonna pretty much be about the same, right? We click that on there. Oh, it's showing me all of them. It's just so big. Come on, H3068. I'll just type it in. H3068. Just put it short way. So strong info. Okay, before I read this, I'm gonna check in with y'all and come back because I've been running my mouth for a bit. Okay, we're good. Just wanted to see if anybody said anything because I can't see nothing. what I see, you see. I'm not looking at any comments right now. So where was I at? I was here. Okay. So if you do this in book form or online, you'll see exactly why I recommend two. This is just one example, sorry. So it says for the Strong's definition, remember, the Strong's doesn't promote what I'm going to tell you, but this is the truth about it. The Strong's, all Strong's concordances, exhaustive, let me make sure I say that properly. Exhaustive concordances are the same because they based on James Strong's work, but his concordance wasn't meant to be a huge dictionary that gave you the most meanings for every Hebrew and Greek and Aramaic word. It's certain Strongs that tell you when you're looking at it in book form, it'll tell you it's a concise dictionary, meaning not a full dictionary of all or the most meanings you can get for each word. Some of these definitions are really short. And here's an example. So when you get to Lord, one of the main names for God, no matter if you believe it's more than one name or not, that's another topic. But this is the main one of them. Well, in the scriptures, it's one of the ones that's, so anyway, you'll see this word a lot. This is all it says for the meaning. It says the self-existent or eternal. That's pretty much it. That's it, pretty much. And then it also says Jehovah, Jewish national name of God. Jehovah the Lord. That's it. Pretty much it. Two sentences. Or you can combine it and just say one sentence. That's it. That short little bit. That's all you get. Some Strongs might give you a little bit more, but you're not gonna get more than 4 sentences. Or 5. You're not gonna get more than 5. That's it. You're just gonna get that little bit, right? So watch this. It's this website has added 2 other Hebrew English lexicons or Hebrew English dictionaries. We can look at Brown Driver Briggs, which is based on G.C. Nice's work, remember? Or we can just go to G.C. Nice, the main source. It's pretty much going to say the same thing. It's just a little bit of editing that might differ a little bit, but it's pretty much going to say the same thing. So look at all what we get for Lord. Same word. We see, read the full entry. Give me everything. It's pages of information in the book. But I don't have the book in front of me, but let's look at all this information. I'm going to just scroll down kind of slow. That's already a whole essay of information. Probably a whole page. I don't know. And still going. Still going. Still going. Still going. 3, 4 pages already. I don't know. Still going. That's it. So that little bit of information that you got from James Strong compared to all of this you get from GC Nice makes a difference. And it's certain other definitions that can be important to you too. And this is also inside of this definition, if I'm not mistaken. This is how I found out 2 extra names of God are somewhere down in here. A lot of people don't know, but let's look at another example. Virgin. Okay. Now, some Hebrews believe that virgin in Hebrew, I've heard certain camps say this. They say basically that virgin only means, in Hebrew specifically, they'll say a young woman of marriageable age. Okay, remember that. Let me see if I can track this down. So we got virgin in English. Now let's go to lexicon. Lexicon. So we got 2 or maybe 3 words in Hebrew for virgin, but I only remember 2 really. So we got, let's see if I can pronounce this without G. I'm gonna sound it out. So we got from the right to the left, we got ba, tha. So we got ba. Haven't said this in a while. And we got the wa, la. Okay. So ba, voila. That's how I'm gonna say it. This word can mean, oh, that's the other one, alma. Yeah. And then we go to Greek. So yeah, it's just 2, like I thought. 3 overall. No, is it 4? Is it 2 Greek ones? There's 2 Greek ones and 2 Hebrew ones. So the first one, let's just look at the first one. Oh, it's an M. That's an M. Wait, did that word change? Oh, the root word is what I was reading. Okay. So what word is this? Well, what am I looking at? Is it what number is this? Oh, this is H 1331. Oh, and the root is H 1330. I was like, what? Because the spelling changed. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the last 2 letters are different. These 2. That's Yam. I was like, wait, what word is this? That's what I was like confused. I'm like, I thought I read, I thought I was looking at another word. I thought I went to the wrong word or something. But Hebrew grammar comes into play here. Not a lot of people teach that. It's advanced. When you get deeper in your Hebrew, you'll learn that, God willing. Some of the camps need to learn that too. So we'll look at the Strong's definition first. I have to go through a few just to show you. Oh, it does give me the root. Ended up accidentally going to the root word anyway. I'm sorry about that. Show Strong's. Show it. Okay, it says means to separate a virgin from her privacy, sometimes by continuation a bride, also figuratively a city or state made virgin. So it doesn't say the definition that we're familiar with in English, where you don't have intercourse with people. And I don't think it's going to mention it in the Hebrew. It did. Well, I knew it was either this one or the other one that was going to mention it, but this one did. So we got, and it's actually, I'll get into it after I read it. So we got in the GC Nias. Now the Strongs didn't say it, but GC Nias did say it. And by the way, GC Nias' work was done before James Strong's work was done, I believe. And this was over 100 years ago. And GC Nias, it was no strong numbers back then. So James Strong's work came later on, and then they added strong numbers later. That's why a lot of Hebrew dictionaries don't have it. But this is what this is what a GC Nias Hebrew English dictionary said. So for the same word, It says a virgin, pure and unspotted, so called as being separated and secluded from intercourse with men. And then it also goes into different languages and what this word means in other languages too. And I like how he did this. So it says, see the root Arabic. I can't read that Arabic word, but it says a pure virgin, a religious. I can't read that Arabic word either. Especially of the Virgin Mary. And they go on and on and on and on and on. And then they give us a Hebrew phrase. Check this out. It says, Syriac, I can't read that either. Virgin, also a man professing virginity. Compare this Ethiopic word I can't read either. A virgin, chaste young man. Syriac, I can't read that. To the foul virgin. And then it gives us the Hebrew phrase that I was talking about, Genesis 24:16. And then it gives you the Hebrew phrase after it, which I like that they did this because this is how you can learn Hebrew too. As you get a little bit more advanced, you can pick out certain words specifically that it's talking about. But let's keep going. And it says, and the girl was a virgin, and no man had known her. And then it gives us another cross reference, 2 Samuel 13:2 and verse 18, 23, and 28. And then it gives us Judges 19:24, Judges 21:12, and 1 Kings 1:2. And for this specific context, I think it's showing you this type of virgin is people that didn't have sex with anybody yet, which is what we were familiar with in English, but some camps and people teach in Hebrew, virgin can only mean a young woman of marriageable age. I've literally almost heard this word for word come out of certain people's mouths from the so-called Hebrew community. But people who don't study Hebrew and learn for themselves will not, they probably won't find this stuff out. But for me, being a nerd, looking inside of a Hebrew dictionary, I used to do this at my job when I finally did get a job. Again, anyway, I used to just be at my job before work and just read. They used to think I was reading the Bible, but it was a Hebrew dictionary. And I remember one guy. That's what they knew me by. They didn't even know my name. Like some of them didn't know my name. I remember this story I heard. This dude, he said to my coworkers, he was like, you know, the guy with the Bible. He thought I had a Bible, but it was a Hebrew English lexicon. And I would just read it and just learn different Hebrew words and meanings. And kind of the same way I used to do with an English dictionary. And, you know, I was fascinated with that at the time. But he thought it was a Bible. So anyway, I found this in there one day, and I remember that some people teach in Hebrew, virgin can only mean a young woman of marriageable age. That is not true. It's way more meanings, and it's also the meaning for somebody that never had sex with a man or a person at all. Plus, it's even scriptures that verify it in the context. We can actually go to each of these scriptures and see the context where this Hebrew word is used, and see that it's even used in a way that describes what we just read. It can mean a person that never had sex with anybody. So that's a false teaching that is going around, but because people don't study and learn, then they might believe it. So this is also why it's good to have two sources, because one source didn't show you that, one and another source did. And partly one of the reasons could be because James Strong's Hebrew English dictionary is only a concise dictionary. It's not going to give you the full meanings of every word. I don't really put the blame on James Strong, because when you know the history and when you know things, you know. So y'all know. So you can kind of see some examples on why it's good to have two or three different sources And when I say sources, I mean the people behind the main work. James Strong is behind the main work of all Strong's exhaustive concordances. I don't think it's anybody else that really put together any other Strong's exhaustive. Well, it's a few. I take that back. It's a few. But it's rare that you get anything other than James Strong's exhaustive concordance of the Bible. He's the main source. And then you got one of the main sources for a lot of Hebrew English lexicons is G.C. Knights. So that's another way that you can learn Hebrew, though, whether in book form or online, using Hebrew English dictionaries and Strong's exhaustive concordance of the Bible. They've helped me to this day. I still use them. It's just certain ones that I use more than others, and I'll even give you one that I prefer over a lot of others. Right here. If you can get this, it's higher than a lot of other ones, but I wouldn't recommend you get it from this website. Well, I'm not saying that this site is not good or it's bad, because I have bought lots of stuff from this website. Believe it or not. Don't let the name fool you. Christian Book got some sales, okay? They got some. Sometimes they got the cheapest for what I need, but what was I gonna say? But the thing is, though, the price is higher here than other places. That's all I'm saying. So if you don't care about that, then you can get it from wherever you want. But remember, this Strongest Strongs has 3 different translations or versions attached to it. Like, the main one is going to be the KJV. And a lot of times, if you don't see it saying NIV, Strongest Strongs, or NSAB, then it's the KJV most of the time, because the KJV isn't even said, which is the case right here. Don't even say it's the KJV, but it goes along with the KJV, which is one of the main, Bibles we use, translations anyway we use, but or versions. So that's not going to be an issue for a lot of people. And basically what that means is, depending on which translation or version you get it to go with, it's going to be spelled that way in the Bible, well, in the book. So if you're looking for a word like, let's just say thou. No, I'm going to say askest. So that's an old English, Middle English word. So if you got the KJV and you're reading, let's just say it says thou askest so-and-so, and then you want to see what Hebrew word was there, or Greek word, Aramaic word was there in the Strongs, then you go inside of your Strongest Strongs. That goes with the KJV, and then you have to look for the spelling exactly how the KJV spelled it. So you have to look for askest and not ask, not the modern ask, because it's going to be spelled how the translation or version spelled the word. So that plays a role. And if you got the NIV is going to spell it ask. It's not going to have askest. So if you got that one, and then you go inside and you look for ask, and you will find it. And so that's how that goes a little bit. But they're very helpful. They're very helpful. I mean, you just got to use it, be open-minded, and I'm going to tell you, God is going to have to be with us all with this, because even studying on your own, you're going to come across some teaching and teachers, and they're going to mislead you at some point. They're going to try. God forbid, but it's happened to me. It's just how it goes. People have stuff out there, and whether they were right or wrong, they said what they said, and some people are going to come across it and can be misled. So the reason I say God is going to have to be with us all is because we all can come across something that's false, and we can believe it. But through studying persistently, you can find that they were lying. If you're looking behind them in the Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, and if you if you just open-minded and studying, and if you just trying to see for yourself, like, is it true? And you'll find out the truth. You'll find out. Because I found a lot of lies from just learning Hebrew. It's one of the benefits. When people claim it says this in Hebrew or says that in the Bible or whatever, you kind of could not just trust it. You could go behind them. Because one of the things I started to do when I was reading the KJV, it got to a point where in book form, just the English, I couldn't trust what it was saying anymore. I couldn't just trust it anymore. It became, I thought y'all could see what I can see on the screen. Oh, yeah, y'all could. It takes you wherever I go, I believe. Or does it? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. I thought y'all could see what I saw. But this is the book that I recommend. I'm sorry. I'll show y'all that again. I wonder if y'all saw, this always happens. It's always happens. I mean to be sharing the screen, but I don't. But there's the strongest I make the show. I don't know if y'all seen everything that I was meaning to show y'all, but just in case y'all didn't see this either, in Hebrew, the definition of virgin Bethul. Is it Bethullah? You can say it that way, Bethullah. And there's that where it shows you the GC Nice Hebrew definition that virgin in Hebrew can mean somebody that never had sex with a person either. Just in case it wasn't showing you that, that's my fault if you didn't see it. But yeah, I've caught people lying in Hebrew, and that's one of the benefits of learning it. So let's see, we got Hebrew alphabet charts, we got flashcards, apps, memory games, and all of that. Okay, it's gonna get deeper. So this is something else I did to learn Hebrew too. All right, I'm gonna find a random phrase. Sons of God. No, use sons of God. Let's use thus saith Lord. You see this all the time. If you've read the KJV, you're gonna see this all the time. Oh, I ain't spell it right. What? I'm surprised. Okay, let's just type in saith the Lord. Let's see if I said that right. They won't let me search it like that. Oh, I gotta hit this. Saith the Lord. You give me no matches. Did I not spell it right? Okay. Let me think. Okay, how about the word of the Lord? Can we get that? There we go. Okay, I couldn't get the other one, but this phrase pops up a lot. So, by the way, this goes in with some books too. I don't have one in front of me. Other books you can get are Hebrew English Bibles, and this is where I was going with the KJV story that I forgot about. The reason I was sharing it, at one point I was reading from the KJV in English, and I began not to trust any of the English anymore because I'll show you that too. I had to make sure y'all can see this. I'm gonna show you this too. So I remember doing this study because when I read Isaiah, in fact, take me to blue letter. I'll just use blue letter. Wait. Would it be easier to use that? Nah, I'm gonna use blue letter for this one. But I ain't even spell it right. We'll get back to the word of the Lord phrase. So I remember reading this in English, and it's gonna be simple. You'll think, right? Let me go ahead and get this pulled up. Isaiah 8:3. Nah, not that one. We'll go ahead and get this pulled up so we can go to it after. So I'm gonna just read from 1 through 3. It says, "Moreover, the Lord said to me, take you a great roll and write in it with a man's pen concerning Maher Shalal Hashbaz. And I took to me faithful witnesses to record Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Jeber Rechiah." Main verse. "And I went unto the prophetess, and she conceived and bare a son. Then said the Lord to me, call his name Maher Shalal Hashbaz, for the child shall have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother. The riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be taken away before the king of Assyria," and so on and so on. So when I read this in the KJV, it didn't make it clear to me, nor did I understand from this that this was Isaiah's wife. From that, I had to find it another way through a study. When I looked at this in other translation, maybe y'all knew, maybe y'all understood it from the way it, but from the way it sounded to me, it just sounded like he just went to her and then she had a son. He didn't say they had sex, but maybe y'all got it from that. I did. So other translations say it like this. The NIV. "Then I made love to the prophetess, and she conceived and gave birth to a son. And the Lord said to me, name him Maher Shalal Hashbaz." Other ones say, "Then I slept with my wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. And the Lord said, call him Maher Shalal Hashbaz." So the other translations just make it clear this wasn't just somebody that he went to and didn't know, and they had a son, and the Lord said, name him that. This was his wife. I didn't get it from the KJV, so I felt like based on this and other things that was going on with the KJV, I felt like the KJV was holding back from me too much. So I felt like I couldn't trust it at all anymore in the English. So I had started, I had bought a Hebrew English Bible. And the first one I got it wasn't this one, it was the pocket edition of this, the JPS Hebrew English Tanakh. And I had the smaller version. This is the student edition. This is the bigger one. Eventually, I got this one, but so some other books you can get to help you learn Hebrew are Hebrew English Bibles or Hebrew English, what they call them, Tanakhs. Hebrew English Tanakhs. Tanakh means it just consists of the Old Testament writings. You won't get anything else. The New Testament Apocrypha, you'll just get the 39 Old Testament books, sadly, but that's just how they do with that. Now, they do have Bibles where you can get the whole Old and New Testament all the way through in one book, Hebrew and English all the way through. But it's rare, and some of them are kind of expensive. It's under $100 though, but you can get it. I have one. I don't know if it's in here, but I got it. Yeah, I don't think it's in here. No, it's not in here. And also, Hebrew English interlinear Bibles help too. Some of them have strong numbers, some don't, but those are helpful too. So I would recommend those two somewhere along your way. And what I started doing when I got this Hebrew English Bible, I started translating a lot of verses for myself because I didn't trust the English at all in any Bible anymore. So I started at Genesis 1, and I would just translate a few verses. And sometimes I would go randomly to other verses that I was curious about and translate to see what it really said. And you'd be surprised on what it says, and you'd be surprised at how many Hebrew words they didn't translate sometimes, or Hebrew letters. Some people already know, but you'd be surprised. So, and you'd be surprised what it can mean if you do translate those Hebrew words, to what it can add to the verse. But not a lot of people know that because they don't do that. But that's in-depth Hebrew studies and stuff, but I consider that like a level 5, or phase 5, whatever you want to call it. Like that's a level up there. But this goes back to me when I was about to show y'all the Hebrew phrases, because after a while doing that, I started, when I used to read from the JPS Hebrew English Bible. By the way, let me show you this big old book before I show you that. So I just got these recently, and this might be the first time y'all are seeing these, but this is the Messianic Olive Tile Interlinear Scriptures, and it has the Paleo Hebrew, the Modern Hebrew, and English, and it's interlinear. So everything, well, it's rare, but the problem is it's expensive, and it's a huge book, very heavy. But I've known about those for years. Most High willing, I'll do a review on those soon, so you can see what it's like on the inside. I've been waiting to do it, but been busy a lot. But they do have stuff like that out there, and so interlinear Hebrew English Bibles are good too. So let's go check out these Hebrew phrases. So I began to learn Hebrew phrases, and those help. They really do, because you see them so often. And when I went to where is it? This one? This one. So like this. How many times have you seen this before? The word of the Lord. How many times have you heard it? The word of the Lord. Or stuff like the Lord said, or God said, or matter of fact, here's one over here. Okay, get out of the way. Move. I think this one is, what is this one? The Lord God said. Like these are common Hebrew phrases that occur often. Or thus saith the Lord, stuff like that occurs a lot. So when I was reading the Hebrew English Bible, and I would see the Hebrew on one side and English on the other, when I would see the same words occur over and over and over, no matter what it was, whether it was thus saith the Lord, or the Lord said, the word of the Lord, whatever it was that I kept seeing repeat, and it was a phrase, like a small phrase, like 2 to 3 or 4 words, I want to see what it is in Hebrew to see if I can find out what it is. And I didn't know Hebrew perfectly or anything, but once you learn the names and the sounds of the letters, you pretty much can sound out every Hebrew letter. Just like in English, once we knew the alphabet, we pretty much always knew it, right? And all we got to do from that point on, even if we don't know how to pronounce the word, all we got to do is sound it out. We might not know what it means, but we can sound it out. We can pronounce it or try to pronounce it. But what does it mean? It's the same way in Hebrew. You can sound it out, but what does it mean? Sometimes you might recognize it, you might know what it means, but it might come a word that you don't know what it means. So then all you got to do is look it up. And this is where the Hebrew dictionaries come into play. Whether it's the Strong's or another Hebrew dictionary, that's when you can go in and you can try to find that word and verify the definition. And then once you got the definition, you can line it up with the translation you're looking at to see if they translated it right, to see if you can find that meaning that they're using. And most of the time you can. But if you can't, then you might need another Hebrew English dictionary. That's why it's another reason to have 2 or 3 different Hebrew English dictionaries by 3 different sources. And you can verify whether they was translating it right. So let's just go back to this example real quick. Is it that one? Is Isaiah? Or this one? It's this one. So the Hebrew phrase, the word of the Lord, occurs a lot. I'm not even going to go through all the verses that it occurs in. But what I would want to do to find out what this is in Hebrew is go to the same verse in Hebrew, find that phrase. And if you don't know what the words are, it's a few ways you can go about it. You can use something like what I'm using, or the Strong's book. It's many different ways you can go about it, but once you find certain words, then you can find the rest of the phrase. So I know pretty much most of the words that's in the phrase, I believe. So let's see. I'm gonna just try to find it without cheating. Because okay, I found Lord. Lord is a common word, Yahweh or Yahuwah, Yahweh. They say it in different ways depending on the Hebrew language and sound system, but it's the spelling is the same. YHUH or YHWH, depending on the alphabet, because the U can be a Y or vice versa, depending on what alphabet you're looking at in Hebrew language. But anyway, so it's gonna be spelled the same all the time. YHWH right here. And then once you got that, then you can look around and see if you can find the other words. Most likely they're gonna be close by. So this word right here is the bar. And this word in front of it is Haya, which is the root word for Ahaya. And let's see this is all. Now I know that the bar can mean word. And then we got Yahweh, which is translated as the Lord or Lord. So we got word and Lord right there. And that might be all we need, but just in case, we can look up Haya to see what Haya is. But I don't think we need Haya. I think all we need is the bar and Lord, from my opinion. Because how they do it is in Hebrew, they add words that wasn't really there sometimes. You'll find this out if you start translating. Like son of David. When you see in the Psalms, if you ever read Psalms and you see a Psalm of David, when you look at that in Hebrew, it's all those letters aren't really there. They add of and other words, but really it's just David and Psalm. Those would be like the main two words that's really there. And then they add a couple of other letters to make it more readable for us in English. Otherwise, it'll just be Psalm, David. It won't be as readable, and we won't be able to understand it as easy if they didn't add these words. So like these two words right there just is Yahweh and word, or Lord and word in English. That's all that is. But they add the word of, like the and of wasn't really there. But that's all we need, really. So to verify it though, we can click on the bar, and the bar, if you scroll down, is down here. They show you the strong numbers for almost all words. Remember, some of them they don't show you the strong numbers for. That's a secret. If you start translating, you'll see they don't always give you every single word in the Hebrew sentence. I'm not even going to that right now, but here we go, the bar right here. So it's H1697. Now right here, they translated the bar as things for one of them, but here's another the bar, 1697, same Hebrew strong number, and they translated this one as the word. Now they put the in with it, like I was assuming. So we didn't really need anything else. And then right after that, of the Lord for H3068, Yahweh, but in the definition of it, there's no of thee. It's just Lord. So they added the of and the thee. And for anyway, it's acceptable. I don't think anybody complains about it. So those are the only two words we really need. It's the bar and Yahweh. And then what I would do once I verify the meanings of them, which if you want to see more of the definition of the bar, you click on it or go to it in your book. However you find the definition, you verify it. Make sure it means what they said it means. It says a word by implication and so on and so on. It is verified. So then all we would have to do is write down the phrase on paper. So I write down the phrase, spell it, write the letters as best you can. And it don't got to be perfect, but write down the bar Yahweh, which can mean the word of the Lord. And by these definitions, you can translate it how you would like to translate it. It can be the counsel of the Lord, which I like that. I love that. because that's what I consider the Bible anyway. The advice of God. That's just one thing I consider. The scriptures, the biblical spirit, a lot of I consider it the advice of God, because I get a lot of counsel and advice out of those scriptures. But other ways it can be translated, the answer of the Lord. I've never seen anybody translate it that way, but you can try. You can try to put whatever fits in that makes sense. And this is how translations come about. You have to try it, see what goes there, based on the meanings. The disease of the Lord, that's one of the definitions. The deed of the Lord, the decree of the Lord, that one works. The judgment of the Lord, the manner of the Lord, the message of the Lord, the oracle of the Lord. Like, see what fits and makes sense and translate it how you would like to translate it. Or you don't have to translate it at all, just know what it means. And then each time I would read that phrase in Hebrew or in English, I would want to know what it is in Hebrew. And most of the time, it's the same two words, Debar, Yahweh. So when you see the word of the Lord, you know that Hebrew phrase. So that's a way of learning Hebrew. It's a little bit advanced, but that's what I would do. I would look for words I see all the time, 2 or 3 words, and start to learn what they are. I'm like, okay, what is this? What is that? Out of curiosity. And I'll write down the phrase, verify each word by the meaning, and then there you go. So that works. And that's probably all the ways that I've learned Hebrew, but it could be more. It could be more. But those are a lot of ways for now. So even if I don't give any more, I think that's pretty good. And I'm giving a lot of free ways to do it. It's PDFs, stuff online for free. You can even print stuff out. I still ain't getting no alphabet chart. I guess it's in a folder, but I'll just go over some personal things that I've done to show y'all. I'm not talking about personal like in a bad way, but all of these are Hebrew. Are these my Hebrew studies? Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. This used to be in my I just wrote down on it, Hebrew study. I put Hebrew being funny. I just be funny. It's supposed to be Hebrew, but I say Hebrew just being funny. But a lot of they're not all Hebrew studies. Some of them are. I guess it's mixed in. Let's see. Or is it after that? I gotta get organized. I'm trying to get back organized. What is this? Okay, it's out of order. It is out of order. I'm gonna try to find some examples for y'all. That's anything. Stuff in here. There go some folders back there. I need to get them folders. Yeah. See what I got in this book. There's still some stuff in here. Review the new Bantam Megiddo. Okay, there's some Hebrew stuff. What? Oh, that's not my Hebrew folder anymore, because that's talking about some other stuff. Is this food and drink? I have moved stuff. This isn't it either. I gotta find it. It must be in my folders. It's got to be in these. It's not in my binders anymore. I'm like, where's my stuff at? I gotta get it organized. And it might even be in my file cabinet over there. I forgot I put some stuff in there. I don't know. It could be over there. You know what? I think it is. I'm gonna go over and check. Hold on. I got so much stuff. Yep, it was over here. God dang it. Oh my goodness. I was looking the whole time. I got it though. I got it. In the building. Nice. Okay, I got it. I got it. Here we go. Goddamn baby in the building. I'm over here looking through books and stuff. It's in there. See my file cabinet. Man, I'm tripping. Ming says, what will you read next and when? It's a good question. I plan to read the Apocrypha, so I don't know what in there and what order, but you can suggest anything in the Apocrypha, the main 15 books of it. We'll say 18 because I'm going to be reading from the NRSV, so the NRSV got 18 books of it instead of 15. I've read all of the books of Daniel in the Apocrypha, and I read Judith, so that's 4. I got to read the rest of them. Just some of the ones that's left. The Epistle of Baruch with the letter of Jeremiah, 1 and 2 Esdras, 1 through 4 Maccabees, Psalm 151, the Prayer of Manasseh, Tobit, Sirach, Wisdom of Solomon, and it could be all of them. I might have left out one, but I don't think so. Yeah, so if you want to suggest one of them, I can try to read that next, and then when I don't know. I'm random. You never know. And I try not to commit to anything I can't commit to because you're supposed to try to keep your word. So that's why I don't like saying something that I can't do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, here we go. I got the Hebrew stuff. So just to show y'all, I did print out some of those Hebrew alphabet charts that I was telling you about. I know it's like an hour and 42 in video. Doesn't even matter anymore, but I did. Got a lot of Hebrew printouts, but I'm going to just show you some of the stuff. Here's another one that you saw online earlier. I printed that baby out too. I printed out the greatest of them. I printed out, is this one sideways? No, it's that one. I can't even see this one that good, but I printed out whatever I thought would help me. I got it. That's what you got to do. You got to get the greatest one. So, and I'm a nerd, so I got extra stuff that don't even apply to learning Hebrew, but because of that manuscript stuff. Okay, get all these charts out my way. Okay. Get out the way, son. Get out the way, son. So here's an example. It was 2016. Here's an example of me kind of learning Hebrew. That ain't good. That ain't good. I don't want to do that one. I got stuff all the way back to 2016. It's classic. It's classic. I'll just show you one of them though. Like some of the stuff I would do, I would go on like the Strongs and just, you probably can't read my writing, but if you can, I would write down like the Hebrew strong numbers and try to write the letters as best I could with a definition and stuff like that, or stuff like that in there. Maybe I need to move it back a little bit. That's probably better. That's not the best example, but I got a lot of stuff like that. And as time went on, as I learned more and more, I would write down like what level of Hebrew I thought I was at from what I've been learning. And I remember in 2018, I wrote down when I thought that I was on Hebrew level 5, I would write down like a summary of it. And let's see if it's good enough to read. It says, this is 7/16/2018. I never read this publicly, I don't think. So it says, when I began translating Hebrew verses to English, I was level 3. To me, this is all to me. You know, there is no official level system that I know of, but this is to me. This is how I was feeling and what I believe. So I was level 3. Since then, I have progressed. Level 4, level 5, where I am at. Ha ha ha. And I put a question mark when I say where I'm at. Question mark. Ha ha ha. So remember, it's according to me. Nobody told me this. This is just what I felt, what I believe. And then I says, I have been learning Hebrew before November 11, 2015 till now. Well, up until this point, anyway. You say let's start from the beginning. The first book. Okay, Most High Willing will do that soon, maybe tomorrow. I don't know what time. I don't know, and I'm gonna just say God willing. You know, tomorrow. But the future's unpredictable. I don't know it. God knows it, so I'll just leave it like that. But God willing, the next book I read will be the first Esdras in the Apocrypha. I'm hungry. Okay, let me see. That's a lot I wrote, but wow, I kind of want to read this whole thing. Okay, let me see. I have been learning Hebrew before November 11, 2015 till now, 7/16/18, almost 3 years. Within this time, I learned the modern Paleo and ancient Hebrew letters and sounds, meanings and names, and numerology. I didn't even talk to y'all about that. And strong numbers. I still need to learn it better. I am level 4 plus, but which question mark? I guess I'm questioning what level am I? But anyway, I think and doubt I'm level 4. But don't think I'm level 6. So must be 5. That's why I said I'm level 5. I agree with this so far. I am level 5. I translated a lot of scriptures. I can read the Bible in ancient Hebrew, but cannot understand all of it. Basically, what I'm saying is, like, I can pronounce every word, but I don't know what all the words mean. So I would still have to go and look it up in the Hebrew dictionary. Just like when you're reading something in English, you can read the whole book, but you might have to look up a few words because you probably don't know what all the words mean. So it's kind of like that. So that's what I mean. So I said I translated a lot of scriptures. I can read the Bible in ancient Hebrew, but cannot understand all of it. Don't know what every Hebrew word means yet. It's good to know where I'm at. Ha ha ha. Smiley face. I'm starting to put more sentences together. I have gotten a GC Nice Hebrew English lexicon. It's been helpful. I've been learning from it, and on the way, a Hebrew grammar book. I wouldn't recommend that for beginners, but at some point, if you go deep enough, I would recommend that. I forgot to mention that at all in this video. Hebrew grammar books. GC Nice got one, but you don't got to get that one. Anyway, and on the way, a Hebrew grammar book coming by GC Nice also. I was translating Proverbs 8:22, I think, and got stuck because I needed to verify something and cannot. I don't think I wrote this part right. I needed to verify something and could not, I guess, verify it enough to persuade me. So that's why I ordered this book. I have started to read um, my Hebrew charts, all 5. The way I wrote that, oh, redo. Sorry, I have started to redo my Hebrew charts, all 5. I was like, and then it says, it's been a learning experience. I corrected number 3, Gamal, the Hebrew name for the 3rd letter of the alphabet, and found the correct Strong's number. So at times, even I was messing up on this chart. I had to correct it. I've been able to find out more lies by learning Hebrew, something I mentioned earlier in the video. Hallelujah does not mean you giving praise to Satan. That's another teaching that used to go around. It might still be going around. Halal, the first part of hallelujah, and halal are 2 different words with different meanings. I was able to find out Yah is the true God and not another God. Amen Ra, Alman. Is that Alman? No, that's Alman. And Amen/Amen in Hebrew are not the same word, nor the same spelling, and have different meanings. Baal and Baalai or Baali. Lord, I learned they lied about this too. Basically, it's a teaching going around that Baal and Lord are the same, and it's a lot of stuff they say, but that's not true either. What else? I learned this too. God, Gad and God lie also. It's a lie about that Gad and God. I forget what they say about it, but it's something they say about that. It's a lot of false teachings out there. And then you can verify through going through Hebrew and studying it. So most of these relate to me just learning Hebrew and finding out they lied about these things. So the 6th one is Shua, the Shua lie. Some video on YouTube where somebody was lying about what Shua means in Jesus' name in Hebrew, Jeshua or Yeshua. Somebody lied and said, well, it was a false teaching going on about that. Or a misunderstanding about what she was saying. But on here, I said it was a lie. Then also, Yeshua comes from Aiza's shaking my head. That's another thing that they were saying. What else? Yahweh, they lied about that. Or, yeah, something like that. It was just a lot of stuff I learned. And then it also says that Ahaya was taken out of the Bible every time except in Exodus 3:14. That was a lie also. GLCC, like understanding, and I'm reading from the paper. This ain't me saying that part. And replaced with Yahweh shaking my head, not true. So basically, GLCC or Elder Racha was saying that the name of Hayah was taken out of the Bible every time except in Exodus 3:14 and replaced with Yahweh, and that's not true. So that was just some stuff I would write down every now and then as I felt that I increased in my Hebrew learning and whatever level I thought I went to. I would just write down what I learned, things like that. Oh, look at this. This is one of the earliest. Oh, this is the year right here. This is the first year I started learning Hebrew. So this is 2015. This is kind of the example that I was giving y'all. I would write down the letters, the names of the Hebrew words, and the meanings and stuff like that. And I would try to, practice saying the names, the sounds, and then do the memory game and everything. This was one of my oldest Hebrew alphabet learnings right here. 2015 is when I started learning. And it's just a lot of that in here. It's a lot. And the more I tried to learn, the better I got at it. But you just gotta practice. You gotta practice. Alright, I'm gonna wrap this video up soon. And eventually I started doing Hebrew phrases and all that's in here and translations I did. Here's one from Proverbs 15:30. I can't remember why I did this one, but this is just stuff that I would do as time. And sometimes I wouldn't be able to find out from the Strongs like all the words that was in the sentence in Hebrew. So I would have to go inside of another Hebrew English dictionary and find it. Like in this one, I put at the bottom that with missing strong numbers, light eyes enough, rejoice the heart, report good look. Oh, is that the translation? Oh, and I would also put the translation at the bottom. Like I would translate it myself. So this is interesting. I've never done this, I don't think, publicly. Let's see. So here's the original order without changing anything. Like I'm gonna, because by the way, if y'all don't know this, I'm gonna read what you're saying. I mean, hold on, just give me one moment. If y'all don't know this, when people translate Hebrew into English, the order of the words, they rearrange it, and then they translate it in whatever order they want. It's just in a different order. But so this first part says original order without changing anything. This is my translation of Proverbs 30, well 15:30. It says, this is how I translate it: light eyes, rejoice the heart, report good, make fat bones. And I'm not adding in any extra words that wasn't in the Hebrew text to make it sound more readable to us. That's why it sounds like this: light eyes, rejoice the heart, report good, make fat bones. And it says after that, without all strong numbers. And in Hebrew, the Lashawan Kadesh, if you was to read it, it would go like this: Mawar Ayin, Shamach Lab, Shamal, how do you say that? Shamal We, Shamal We, Tawab, Dashan, Isam. And this is without all strong numbers. So I believe it was words that I hadn't translated yet, because I'll just show you what I mean. I'll try to get you an example if I can. If you see the circled Hebrew letters in this, like right here's one right. Dang it, I moved it out of the camera. There's one right there. The yod or the yad, the yah sound. Like there was no Strong's number for this. And right next to it, over this way, this word at the end, well, it's connected to a word, but at the end, the yam, it's not it's due to Hebrew grammar. So when you're looking at it in Strong's, you won't see it spelled that way, but it's due to Hebrew grammar. As time went on, I learned this. I didn't know. So I had to find out what those words meant, because when I looked them up in the Strong's to verify it, it wasn't spelled that way. So sometimes I had to use other books to translate, but I guess I'll get more into the Hebrew and try to help out with that. And we'll read, God willing, 2nd Esdras tomorrow. 1 Esdras, my bad. I said second. Let me read what you said, man. Ming says, yes, God willing, tomorrow. I hope so. I'm excited to start the Apocrypha over. Thank you for even considering doing this. My eyes are very heavy. Oh, yeah. Then also next, read, can you explain Sabbath on Saturday and what Friday means? I always see people start or mention Friday being the beginning. So just make sure I understand. Do you want me to, let's see. Okay, explain Sabbath on Saturday. Friday means I always see people start. Let me just say it another way. Do you basically want me to go over why people keep the Sabbath on Saturday, well, from Friday night to Saturday night? Is that basically what you want me to do? Or are you want me to do like why to explain the Sabbath on Saturday and to explain it on Friday, like why people keep it on Friday and why they keep it on Saturday? But maybe that's the same as what I just said. Or do you want me to explain what Friday means? Like, I guess the history of Friday? I don't know how you meant that. If you're still there. Well, yeah, I can do that. I don't know when, but I'm gonna just have to get it done because there's a lot of stuff that people have asked me to do, and I'm getting to the point where I'm just starting to answer it. However, I'm answering it, and just gonna put it out there, and then maybe in the future I'll come back and answer it again, and shorten it up and edit the video so it won't be so long. But for now, I'm gonna just answer stuff in live videos and then just put it out, and then maybe I'll answer stuff more professionally later on and make it shorter and put it out where it's not so long, just to get it done because I've been procrastinating for a long time, and I will procrastinate even longer. So that's also why I did this video, just to get this done. Well, Ming, I don't know if you're still there. I know you're tired, but God willing, I'll do that too. I don't know when, but I'll keep in mind that, God willing, just try to get it done. Well, I'm gonna leave y'all. Make this video. I mean, well, I don't want to continue the video. I don't know if there's anything else that I left out, but I pretty much gave y'all a lot of ways to learn Hebrew for free. And some of you, you got to pay for them, but whatever you can do, you do. But I definitely gave y'all free ways because that when I started, I didn't have a job, so I couldn't buy a lot of things. But and people gave me stuff free. Like my first Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible was for free. I got that from a preacher when I used to go to this church. So maybe you'll get some things for free from other people that you're looking for. I don't know how it's gonna happen for you, but God willing, He'll give you what you need. So that's how you learn Hebrew. Those are some of the ways. Could be ways that I didn't mention in the video. If y'all want to add to it in the comments or whatever, however, whatever you want to say in the comments, you can. But I don't think I have anything else for y'all. It was other books that I could have shared with y'all, but I think y'all pretty much got the idea from the books I shared in my video. Okay, well, peace be to the saints. I'm gonna go eat and all that. Clean up my bed. I got all this stuff. All right, y'all. And go eat. Hungry.